It's time for the solutions for the end of year review number 1, which is all about solving stuff. And so on the solutions, just starting with solving for the equation for x, you have to remember you need to get all your things with the variable on the left side, simplify that, and then get all the number stuff on the other side. You're just trying to get that variable all by itself, and there's a few things you can do. You need to first get rid of all these parentheses so you can distribute these numbers in front. If there's no number there, the number there is 1, so put a 1 there. And we'll have 6 minus 3x on the left. Right side we'll have 6 minus x, and then plus 5. Do not do the subtraction there first. You have to distribute first, and then you can start combining like terms like 6 plus 5 make 11. On this side, so I got 6 minus 3x. I'm going to put the variables on the left side, so I'm going to add x to both sides. And while I'm at it, I'll get rid of this 6 on the left by subtracting 6 from both sides. And that'll make it so these combine here on the left, and that'll give you a negative 2x. And on the right side, the 11 and 6 minus 6 will combine to give you 5. Divide both sides by the negative 2. And it's okay to get a fraction answer. You'll get 5 over negative 2. Ta-da! Name of the property lets you subtract the same number from both sides of an equation. That's just the subtraction property of equality. Property of equality. The symmetric property was used as the next step in solving. What would the inequality be? Okay. With inequalities, a symmetric property means you're going to change the switch on what is on what side. So x is going to be on the left, 6 is going to be on the right. And with inequality, you have to make sure you change the direction of that as well, because that makes it so your statement's still true. Because this says 6 is less than or equal to x, which means x has to be more or the same as 6. So anyway, you get this, yeah. Next part, solve the inequality for b. I'm going to put all the b's on the right side this time. So I'm going to subtract 4b from both sides. I'm going to put the numbers on the left side. So I'm going to subtract 42 from both sides while I'm at it. Just kind of simplify things all at once. Those cross out, those cross out. Now we just got to simplify some of this stuff. Negative 6 minus 42 gives you negative 48. And the inequality in the middle is still the same. 12b minus 4b is 8b. And now we just need to get rid of the 8 in front of the b. And on the left side, we're going to have negative 6. The right side, we're going to have b. And just like the symmetric property up here, we're going to change what's on what side. So b is going to be less than or equal to negative 6. And now I'm done. And I need to graph the solution to that. Right there, so b less than or equal to negative 6. Well, negative 6 is kind of down below, so I'm going to put 1 over here, and negative 1, negative 2, negative 4, negative 5, negative 6. Yeah, you just have to add some numbers to your number line here. And negative 6 is going to be right here. And since this says or equal to, has a little or equal to symbol there in the bottom, I'm going to fill that in, because you can have negative 6. And b needs to be less than that, so I'm going to shade left. Remember, less than is shade left, because those numbers are less. Number 6, you need to solve that compound inequalities. Well, we need to get the x all by itself in the middle, so you need to undo the minus 4 by adding 4. And you can do that to all the pieces at once. So in the middle, the 4's just cancel out. Now we got 5. Right side, we got 19 plus 4, which is 23. And on the left side, we got 1 plus 4, which is going to be 5. And now we need to get rid of that 5 in front of the x by dividing by 5, because 5 in front is times, so do the opposite, which is divide by 5. And you do that to all the sides at once. Left side, you'll get 1. 5 divided by 5 is 1. In the middle, you'll just have x, because the 5's will cancel out. And on the right side, you're going to have 23/5. And that's okay. You can have a fraction. Fractions don't mean it's wrong. We'll get this answer here. 7, write the solution in interval notation. Well, in interval notation, you're going to have where the shading starts as your first number and where it ends second. So you can write 0, 3. And now you just have to get the brackets right. If you have an open circle, you're going to have an open bracket, which is a circular one. If you have a filled-in circle, you're going to have a closed bracket, which is a square one. And that one's done. On 8, you need to solve for m, which means you get m all by itself, but we're not going to divide by that x first. We're going to get rid of the b first, so subtract b first. And on the left side, you'll have y minus b. Those don't combine because, well, they're not the same type of variable. And now we just need to get rid of that x that's next to the m, so we're going to divide everything by x, and you have to divide the entire side by x, not just one part. And you'll have y minus b divided by x equals m, and you can switch that around if you want to. You don't even have to worry about changing direction of your equality because it's the same thing. 9, you need to solve the equation right here for x. So these ones are a little bit different. These are going to be exponential equations, and which means you need to get the same base on both sides. So here on the left, I'm going to keep it as 4 because I can write 64 in a base 4 method. And that 64 is 4 to the third. And now that we have the bases the same, we can actually drop the base and just set up negative 2x equals 3. And now you just need to divide both sides by what's in front of x, negative 2, and we'll get x equals negative 3 halves. And that's done. Moving on to 10, this one's also an exponential equation, but this one's a little bit more complicated because these bases really aren't the same, but we can make them the same because I know that 27 can be written as base 3, and so can 9, and so I'm going to do that. On the left side, 9 can be written as 3 squared, and the 3x power is still on that, and 1/27, that means I'm going to have a negative power on 3. And 27 is 3 to the third, so I'm going to have the negative third power on 3, and I still got the negative 2x up there. And now that, now we need to combine these exponents together. We'll get 3, and if you have an exponent to an exponent, you need to times those exponents together, so it's going to be 6x. And right side, negative 3 times negative 2x, you'll get 3 to the positive 6x. And now that my bases are the same, I can drop that. I'll get 6x equals 6x. And when you have that, you can just subtract 6x from both sides, trying to get it on one side, and what that's going to do is just get rid of all of them. And since this is a true statement here, we actually have infinitely many solutions. Anytime you have your variable disappears and you have a true equation, you'll have infinitely many solutions. Next part, we need to graph this guy. And there's quite a few ways you can do that, but what I like to do, well, the easiest way is probably just putting a calculator and transfer it on here. But another way that will help you is make a table real quick. Put down some x values, do some variety, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, maybe 3 there. And then get the y values that go with it. So you'll take this x value and you'll plug it in. 1/2 to the negative second power. Remember, negative powers change your number so it's upside down. So 1/2 to the negative second power upside down is going to be the same thing as 2 to the second power, which is 4. And then you need times by that 4 in front, which will give you 16. And 1/2 to the negative 1 power is going to be 2, times the 4 is going to give you 8. And then 1/2 to the 0 power, any number to the 0 power is 1, times the 4 in front will give you 4. And hopefully you're noticing a pattern here of timesing by 1/2 or dividing by 2. So you can get the rest of these rather quickly. Just divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2. And that's set up because the x values are in consecutive order. Anyway, so now that we have that, we'll put those points down. We'll have a point at negative 2, 16, at negative 1, 8, 1 at 0, 4, 1 at 1, 2, 1 at 2, 1, and 1 at 3, 1/2. And now that you have these, you can connect them up. and get a feel for what's going on with your exponential function. And there you go. We'll stop the video there.